Let's get started. Let us think of some candidate moves and let's evaluate the position. White to move. So 3 pawns. This piece is not hanging, but this pawn is by knights outplaced. I feel like centralizing the rook's realistically the best option, right? Because the knight's on a good outpost. So minor piece, okay, so major piece, minor piece, so I'm up, so equal material, but this piece is outplaced, so say a slight advantage, maybe about 0.90 to guess. But I'm gonna think, okay, this relatively pins the knight to the rook, which I like. But if I can go here, it protects the bishop. So I feel like coordinating the defense of the bishop right now to guard this square would be the most important thing. And then relatively pinning the knight. So sort of right triangle formation going. Let us see. Wait. What the hell? Oh. Dorfo? Did I? Huh? Why would it, hold on, nah, stop, that's, hold on, I'm resigning, no way. That's stupid, like, why would the piece be there? Like, it makes zero fucking sense. Like, wow. Now it's no. Okay. I mean, realistically, okay. Now, relatively pin, right? Do the plan that I did. Relatively pin. Now he boots my knight, so I'm gonna move out the way, take my little outpost. And now this should be winning, I believe, because there's no more trading of the rooks. The rooks don't get attached to 7th rank, and he just sacrifices the knight. Okay, so I'm completely winning. Okay. Now I'm just gonna liquefy, stop any counterplay. You can take with the bishop most likely. Okay, now I gotta kind. Okay, so candidate moves. This pawn's threatened, but this game guards. I'm up a minor piece now. 1, 2, 3. That's right, and he's up 2 pawns. So I feel like this work is threatened. So the most logical thing I can do is defend this. So I can coordinate all my pieces. And guard with the rook and all. A very good defensive square. Horse, I take back at long-term direct opposition on the king, and I should be completely winning. How am I going to convert this? I have no idea. I mean, just dodge the pawn out the way, put the pawns on opposite colors, and this should be GG. Bishop has a beautiful outpost. I mean, I have a lot of options. I can put the knight on the outpost. I can put the rook here, I can put my bishop here, but the bishop here does nothing. So let's just put the knight on the outpost. Let's keep it very, very simple. Even though he can get a tactic kind of going with a relative pin, but I mean, I'm going to just guard these 3 squares, not allow the rook to invade. Shut that down. And I should be winning. Now it just seems we'll simplify, liquidate, offer a trade of rooks. King defends, and I'm gonna liquefy. I'm gonna liquidate, and it's gonna take some time for me to win. But I win. Okay, now I gotta actually take a long-term calculation and actually think. Okay. Okay, here, or my bishop can go here. So let's think. I go king e2, no, king e3, king e3. He's going to put a pawn on a light square to stop my bishop from attacking it. So king e3, a6, pawn c4, to go on the opposite color, the same color as his bishop. And to so here's a4 to push this pawn forward and to play prophylactically against this. On a4, this is a6, a4. Okay, so this is boom, boom, boom. Then maybe he goes here, 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 here. So c4, and then opponent can go king e7 to try to kick out the bishop. King e7, knight to bd3, knight to b3 to take the pawn to protect the bishop. This, gb3, then it would be bishop to f. I mean, I just gotta go with it. You know, but also, I'm gonna put my bishop on the outpost. I'm gonna gain more squares. I'm not, that's too complicated for me. Let me just simplify and make it very simple for me. So, and I'm gonna just slowly bring my king forward. And this is gonna be GG. And change championship of history. Now I got basically a passer. I'm gonna use the blockade to get a big bashing going with the knight, guarding the dark squares, protecting this pawn. And then basically I'm just gonna make them gonna force them to run out the moves. I'm gonna get my king over, drag this over, take pawn. And then now I'm just gonna simply work on my king to not kick out the knight, kick out the bishop. And then now I'm just gonna simply keep an eye on this pawn, threaten this pawn. Okay, pawn dodges out the way. I'm gonna have to protect the square. And then now I'm gonna put my knight back on the bastion, so the king's not allowed to invade. Threatening this check to fork them. Starfish moves out the way. On the dark square dodge, starting to go up to get some opposition going. Now what am I gonna do? I mean, get opposition, right? Stop the king from invading, putting the king in this sort of zigzag-like position. I mean, how can I really make progress? I can't really make progress here. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to move back. Maybe try to do something else. Maybe here. And then now I'm gonna check. Guard this square. The king may be able to step forward, but my king protects. And just simply I'm gonna threaten this pawn. Threaten the pawn to f6. Okay. I'm gonna just take the pawn, right? It just seems I'm gonna just slowly try to make progress in this position, try to get my king forward, and then eventually put this knight back on the bastion. That's the thing. I'm probably gonna have to. What can I do realistically? I don't know. The only thing, these two moves, this move with this move, I'm gonna put a knight on the bastion so it restricts the king from moving. Okay, of course using a check. I'm gonna just step forward. Slow king march, and then I should be winning pretty soon. And then now it's just simply, I'm gonna reroute my knight to this outpost to put pressure on this pawn. Okay, check. Tell the king to get away. I mean, and prophylactically guard this, so there's no passer, no threat of a passer. Now I can slowly work. Now I'm gonna just put pressure on this pawn chain, and now I'm gonna just slowly work on frickin'. I'm gonna just, yeah, I'm gonna have to take, right? Take the pawn, because the bishop guards. He's going to get a little bit of counterplay, potentially. Okay, so now I'm going to stop that counterplay, thank the Lord. So, I'll say I'm definitely 100% winning. It's going to just take a bit of a technical grind, and I cannot make any mistakes. Now I'm just going to coordinate all my pieces together. I mean, I'm gonna have to do something. I'm probably gonna defend the pawn and try to put my opponent in zigzag on. That seems like the best thing I could do right now is defend. Hey, now I just gotta make some waiting moves. Make some waiting moves to maybe potentially threaten to reroute myself. I'm gonna go here to attack here. Where? Of course, we're gonna just go here, threaten the pawn. Stop balls, nah. They missed that balls, nah. And no hesitation. Take the bishop. Take. Threaten. Discover checks. With the knight. Yep, discover check. I mean, oh yeah, double discover check, wow. Destroy coordinations. And now even me, I'm gonna, what can I do here? Like, I know I'm winning. But here, what am I, maybe I can go here to, yes, to cut off this diagonal to stop the king from invading. That's, this diagonal, I feel like that's the best move. Because what else can I do? I can't overly push right now because the king can just sit. And then also, both of these pawns from motion squares are not opposite of, so I'm going to have to go here and threaten to cut off this diagonal. And just slowly, technically grind this game. Okay, now I'm going to just boot the knight, kick the king away. Now, I threaten, but I get a tempo with check, I get my diagonal, threaten with check, king moves out the way. Okay, I stand correct and moves that way. And then I'm going to get flank opposition to slowly march up the board. I think I played it inaccuracy there, but we'll see. Now I'm going to just... And no, that's stupid. Let me work. Here, this should be about mate, and this got to be some sort of checkmate. There's no way, right? Like, let's be serious right now. And I'm gonna just go threaten to discover check. Okay, now I'm just making this geometrical mating net. Now I'm just gonna keep pushing my pawns. And he's going to probably have to sacrifice the bishop, but I'm going to get a tempo. Yep, moves to the right. Okay, here traps in the yeah, so this would be very good. Because it only has one legal move, right? One legal move. I back out my knight to run away. And I re-threaten to take away these dark squares, but that could be stalemate, because I gotta be careful not to stalemate. Okay, let me calculate. So maybe bishop c5? Bishop c5 to cut off this diagonal. Yeah, like bishop c5, king to bd7, so bd7, wait, no, here, king e7, king to 8, right, so bishop here, king to 8, okay, c5, king b7, king d7, king a8, queen a8, queen promote, queen checkmate. I believe this is correct, because if, right, yep, king to a8, king to b7, I step, and there's nothing that the computer can do, and then it goes to the corner, and I go queen, and I checkmate. Okay. Wow, and I won. I was really focused and tired. I'm absolutely cooked. Let's see. Actually, I really did win it. Let's go. And that's how we change world history.